Okay. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News. We're talking about self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. What's up, all y'all people? Hello. Okay. Everyone's here. Everyone's in the chat. We're live on Callin, Rockfin, YouTube, and on Twitter. Thanks to all the people that tuned into my other show yesterday. I think I'm going to do another show today. Another other show. And so another other show at the same time. So if you know where the channel is, and I'll put a link. Where am I going to put a link? I'll put a link to the channel. Let's see. How can I do this? How can I do it? I don't even know. Here we go. All right. I'll put a link to the channel and all the chats. I'll do another show at noon today. But thanks everyone that tuned in yesterday. Appreciate you. Where are we? Well, I can't put it in the call-in. I'll put it in the Rockfin. Oh. I was ready to go live, and now I am live on Rockfin. Sorry, Rockfin people, I kind of forgot to press that button. It happens once in a while. I do my very best. And I guess I'll link it underneath my video on Twitter. I'll do that too. If y'all want to follow that channel, go for it. Okay. Also, if you enjoy the show coming at you every single day for free, Monday through Friday, at the same dang time every day. If you enjoy it, please support it. There are links, all kinds of links in the description box of every platform that we're on. And even Twitter. I'm going to put all the links below my Twitter video so y'all can't miss it. Okay? All the links. Well, most of the links. Almost all the links. Hold on. Jeez. Almost all the links. Posted that, and then we'll put the one last link. Shap. Also Telegram. Don't forget to join the Telegram group. If you want to send me, I got Black Bear News t-shirts if you want to support that way. And if you want to send me news articles or files or whatever, you can do, or you want to just talk to people who are in the channel, on the channel. If you guys want to continue the conversation outside of the chats, the Black Bear News chat is the place to do it. And on Telegram, t.me/Black Bear News chat. All right, cool. We good? All right, cool. Well, let's talk about some things today. Mark Cranfield, commenting on the graph I showed yesterday of all the heat. So much heat. He says the new tendency to refer to the 1991 to 2020 average as normal should be strongly resisted. It's bad enough that the goalposts keep getting moved to fool the public. Normal is pre-industrial. So I think this graph is showing, it doesn't say, but I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure. is this graph showing anomalies as to the 1991-2020 baseline? I mean, astonishing. Absolutely astonishing if that's true. Mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling if that's the baseline. And what if the baseline was 1750 or 1880 or, you know, any of those ones? If you're watching on Twitter, give a thumbs up or say hey. Appreciate you. I can't really tell who's watching on Twitter until, oh, hey, it's actually showing me viewers today on Twitter. That is remarkable. Usually it shows me like 0. All right. Well, thanks. Thanks, Twitter. Appreciate you. Super cool. Wow, there's a lot of people watching on Twitter. Great. That's okay. That is all right. In Germany, they're chopping down trees for wind turbines. Wait a minute. Why am I on the wrong? No, that is so weird. Okay. Anyways. Germany is chopping down 120,000 trees in the beautiful ancient forest of Reinhardswald to erect 241-meter wind turbines so they can say they are saving the planet. Let's see. Can I get a copy and paste? Hold on. Every once in a while, I like to check things. Let's just check this post real quick. I guess so. Here's an article. Man. Brussels signal. German fairy tale forest to be felled for wind turbines. True story. It's good to check these Twitter posts, especially if they don't come with any links. The bane of my existence. Would your posters on Twitter put up the link when you're posting a post? Golly. Is it that hard to give me a source? But this is kind of what we're talking about, what we're always talking about, what we always talk about. Anyways, this is the German forest that's featured in the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm. Did you all know that? Is being partially cut down in favor of 241-meter tall wind turbines. Following a months-long construction freeze, administrative courts have allowed heavy machinery to raise parts of the forest, including some trees that are more than 200 years old. Why? Why would you do this? The point is to save the environment. The point is to care for nature. The point is to conserve nature. The point is to preserve the forests. No, the point is to build new renewable energy sources so that we can keep everything afloat. In a matter of speaking. No, that's not the point. But if you don't like this, you may be called a doomer, or you may be called a, progenitor of online misinformation. I don't know. Whatever. No, no. Didn't I? Did I read you all the? I think I did. In Sweden, there are protesters there, XR protesters in Sweden, blocking construction of or blocking a mining company from going about its business. The mining company mining what? Minerals for all the beautiful green new tech that we're gonna build, and that's gonna save us all. Let me get this straight. Killing the planet is going to save us all. Chopping down trees is going to save the planet. Okay. Alrighty. That's why we should go nuclear. Building nuclear plants will surely save the planet. I would advise listening to people who talk about, well, first of all, nuclear plants, like almost anything else, can only survive, exist, work, run, operate, not melt down in a stable environment. Serenity says, according to Alex Jones, if you think the world is overpopulated, it means you are possessed by Satan. Okay. There are those people that are pushing that. You know how many people God called in the Bible? Would be my answer to Alex Jones. How many times did God say, you know what? I don't like what you all are doing. How about a flood? How about a plague? How about I come down and smite your butt? How many times did God do that in the Bible? Like a lot of times. And apparently, at the end of the Bible, he does it. He does it for real. He does it like everybody must go, except for the chosen ones. You guys can float on up and do whatever Float on up and enjoy the afterlife. Anyways, so no. Satan, God, Satan. Anyways, listen to, it's nuclear can only exist in a stable climate. In an unstable climate or an unstable climate, nuclear has a lot harder time even running. And what happens when a nuclear power plant can't run anymore? Where does the waste go? What happens? Does it melt down? What if you can't cool the rods? Anyways, chopping down the forest sucks. Chopping down forests for energy sucks about as much as strip mining, coal mining, oil drilling, oil pumping, oil burning, chopping down forests for energy kind of sounds like the same thing. What about all the burning of the wood pellets that they're doing in Europe too, right? A lot of those wood pellets come from forests in the United States that they chop on down to burn on up for some energy. Man, that sounds super green to me. Well, let's look at this. Gabe sent me this. Ice-free summers in Arctic possible within next decade, scientists say. Possible. Always interesting, the language that they use in these very informative articles. Possible. The Arctic could have summer days with practically no sea ice within the next decade due to emissions from burning fossil fuels, a study has found. This would transform the unique habitat, home to polar bears, seals, and walruses, from a white Arctic to a blue Arctic during the summer months. Scientists say the calculations used for ice-free means less than 1 million square kilometers, in which case the Arctic would be mostly water. It's got a lot less water. I mean, a lot less ice already. That's why they have new shipping routes through the Arctic. And they were just waiting for those to open up. The findings published in the journal Nature Review reviews Earth and Environment suggest the first ice-free day in the Arctic could occur more than 10 years earlier than previous projections. Tell me more. The authors said consistently ice-free Septembers could be expected between 2035 and 2067. The exact year within that period is dependent on how quickly the world reduces the amount of fossil fuels burned. Survey says false. It actually, at this point, doesn't really, I mean, maybe. It doesn't have a lot to do with how quickly we stop burning fossil fuels. And spoiler alert, we're not going to stop burning fossil fuels. It's just not going to happen. Not unless everybody agrees to live with a lot less. Not if everybody agrees to get together and take apart the military-industrial complex, and probably take apart most of the structure of the government as we know it, and restructure it in a way that it works in a much, more earth-friendly way. But until we do that, nothing's going to happen. Anyways, by the end of the century, there is a potential for ice-free conditions between May and January. Under a high emission scenario, and August to October under a low emission scenario. Oh, I see. Unlike the ice sheet in Greenland that took thousands of years to build, even if we melt all the Arctic sea ice, if we can then figure out how to take CO2 back out of the atmosphere in the future to reverse warming, sea ice will come back within a decade. Okay. Got to keep our emissions low, guys. Got to keep it low. I don't know. I don't know if this article even informative. I mean, it kind of admitted to some things, I guess. Jay Moniker says people living off grid with stuff bought from Home Depot and Amazon. He. Okay. That's funny. Even more off grid. No, I don't know. Or what if a blue ocean event happened even earlier? What if that happens? Let's see what wasn't I looking at something yesterday? Let's see. We'll revisit this chart that George Sacoclides posted yesterday. This is the chart. Sea ice thickness, February 2024. This is winter. This actually looks not like not necessarily like a summer sea ice chart, but as far as the thickness goes, kind of, yeah. This is winter. Most of the ice, except this little strip of yellow and orange, little tiny strip of yellow and orange, and then the green. Most of this ice is less than 2 meters thick. And all the purple is less than 1 meter. So we have very, very thin ice. That's what's happening. Let's take a call from Fantomas, shall we? Fantomas.
Yes. So, I wanted to bring this to your attention that a reality TV star passed away, but he passed away in the most unusual way. Not overdose, not from myocarditis.
Okay.
Not from anything of those. Not suicide.
He just passed away. It was sudden death syndrome.
No. He died. This is. I'm making a whole theme to this. He died because he had an ATV accident. And the way the ATV accident was caused, Kev, was because the sediment was wet in the mud. The ground fell underneath him.
Oh, shoot.
And then the ATV rolled over him. So what I'm saying is you're probably going to see more and more accidents like this in a lot of areas where the ground can't hold these vehicles anymore.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up is this is also a symptom of production, giving people what they need, what they think they need, and then it ends up killing it ends up killing them. He avoided everything. He was part of this reality show called 16 and and pregnant, and his I guess his girlfriend was on that show and he was on that show. And now he has 2 kids, all because of this ATV, 2 kids without a father.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and so, and leapfrogging to the fact that with the theme of production, there was this vape factory that exploded.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In Michigan. I don't know if you heard about it, but so this vape factory exploded in Michigan, and the debris exploded. The radius is 2 miles, and guess how the one person died in the vape factory explosion? How he ended up dying. Just some debris hit him in the head. He probably wasn't even a vape smoker.
No, that sucks.
And so what I'm saying here, Kev, is this: all of the toys and all of the things that we need, or that we need, it's going to do us in through hyper acceleration of production.
Oh, sure, of course, yeah.
In so many different ways with these factories. I mean, people thought the industrial age was dangerous. We're told this over and over again. Yes, it was dangerous, but it's nothing compared to today because of how fast these factories can start up now and how fast a company can just get running off just something as silly and stupid as a vape.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And so the thing I'm getting at to all of this is the fact that there is only one way, Kev, that I see this happening is that there probably needs to be like a COINTEL project where we have someone basically is manipulated to use all of the gas. This is the only thing I can see. All of the gas and oil, just use it all in a year or 2 years period. It's going to be a disaster for the world.
Yeah, there's been a few people who suggest things like that.
But Kev, that's the only way I can see, especially when you have people like Elon Musk and all his ambitious projects. You have like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, didn't I just see hold on. Yeah, there was I just saw an article on it, and then I couldn't find it. Elon Musk saying AI and electric cars are going to strain the power grid within a few years to a point of breaking.
This guy's like Dr. Evil.
Right.
He's
right. Like
who's doing it.
We're gonna accelerate. Yeah. We're gonna accelerate things so quickly that we won't be able to actually. Okay, explains AI and electric cars could zap the power supplies by 2025. So, well, then what? And then what?
Maybe he's an undercover agent for Greenpeace.
I don't know what he's doing. I'm not really sure where. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's encouraging people to have more kids. He's encouraging the must go faster ethos. So, yeah, maybe he's really just trying to help out.
Yeah, I sure. see this is what I'm talking about, like how loony everything has gotten in terms of just who we've let people have their complete wheel to power.
Yeah,
and it's going to get even more sillier in the internet age.
Yeah, he says Elon Musk observed, highlighting the growth trajectory of AI and electric vehicles, if sustained, could present unprecedented challenges for the world's electrical grids and supply chains. Dun, dun, dun.
And so, one last thing, Kev, before I go, I wanted to mention there is a film at Sundance and all of these that's getting a lot of attention.
Yes.
It's called Civil War, so you might want to look at that.
Oh, I've heard of that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know of the.
It's not out yet. It's going to be out in like April.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've heard about it, and I want to check it out. A lot of people are talking about it as in conjunction with like Leave the World Behind and those kinds of predicting doomish predictions. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see
the future dystopia that we're all headed towards.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully what happens is, again, this is just like a miracle within a miracle, lightning in a bottle times 10. But hopefully there's something that gives us some kind of light where we don't have to worry about as much. But I don't see that happening.
I don't necessarily either. I'm in some ways there might be a confluence of people kind of doing more of a self-sustaining thing and trying to live with less, or trying to get off of the grid, or trying to get out of having to rely on the grocery store all the time. And so if you have more people kind of adopting that kind of lifestyle, or at least, a semi-hybrid kind of lifestyle, and then the system, goes down for whatever reason, right? Or the system maybe not goes totally down, but there are problems, right? There are brownouts. There's the economic system is bumping along. There's, hyperinflation, and things are going a little bit nuts. But as people move away from the system kind of breaks down, and people can feel good about like not actually having to be in a position of having to rely on it, right? So I know that sounds a little weird, but to me that could be a point of optimism, right? If you're like already outside of the system and already doing and already somewhat self-sufficient, and when things start to crumble, you're like, hey, yay! I'm not trapped. I'm not totally trapped in this thing. I was already kind of a little bit outside of it, and so now I can kind of steer my future a little bit better. Whereas the people that are totally encased in it are going to have difficulties, right? The people that are totally like, what? The store's closed?
Well, Kevin,
what? My bank's closed? What am I? You know what I mean? Like those people are going to be like, oh, what? Are going to be really lost, right? Or
here's the closing thought. The kids playing all these survival games. The fact that all these survival games are going to become more and more VR, they might be prepared for the future more than we know, Kev.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's actually studies that have proven that kids that play a
Yeah.
lot of video games have actually developed a particular skill set that can help them. I know, we don't like to think about it like that, but
Or
maybe
they're going to
maybe
have
there's a
better ref-
golden lining. I don't know. Anyways,
or they're going to have better reflexes for the military-industrial complex. I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Kev. I'll see you later, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
Rich Diana, thank you for the very generous Rockfin donation. Thank you, sir. Yes, Kevin, I do enjoy the show in my own twisted way. Thanks, man. Rich Diana showing us how it's done. You can super chat or super Ray. A Ray is a Rockfin tip. So thanks, man. If you enjoy the show and you want to just tip kind of instantly, so I can see it, you can do it that way. But right on. Okay. A hat tip to you, sir. Okay, so let's look at this. We've been dragged so deep into climate crisis, unprecedented in millions of years, and yet to totally manifest itself in reality that no amount of renewable energy will fix this. We need to save all existing forests and wetlands and restore those destroyed and end economic growth. What about been trying to say? What are a lot of people saying? It's not just me. It's not just me. Let's see. Trying to catch up on a few things that I didn't cover in the last couple of days. Steve Austin, most of this are carbon bombs for private cars. They're talking about Pete Buttigieg. He's talking about Pete Buttigieg talking about President Biden's infrastructure package. 46,000 projects and communities, $649 billion in private sector investments, $442 billion in funding announcements, et cetera, et cetera. Steve Austin says this is the opposite of preparing the country for a climate crisis. Well, yeah, but nobody really understands what the climate crisis actually is or entails, or, they only understand it in a very rudimentary kind of elementary school cartoonish way, and they want it like that. They want people to not understand it. So that they can continue participating in the system. But if they really knew, well, they would be doing exactly what I just talked about. They'd be getting out of the system, getting off the grid, growing their own stuff, growing their own food, not relying on the system, maybe learning to live with less electricity or heat or AC or whatever. That would be, and the country as a whole could be doing that, should be doing that. Again, if we really cared about climate change, what we would do is close all of the 800 bases, all of the 800 bases we have around the world for the U.S. military. We'd shut it down. We'd bring the troops home. We'd have the troops fan out through the U.S. and become helpers, become a domestic helping force, right? They could go out and help people build homes, plant gardens. Maybe they could even be put to work tearing up the highway infrastructure. I know, it's crazy. I know. I'm saying things that probably are blowing people's minds. Tearing out roads and highways and encouraging people to not. It's the infrastructure that delivers the damage. Infrastructure is literally the conduit by which we damage the earth faster. So when you hear the word infrastructure, most people are like, yeah, we need it. And in my mind, it's absolute absolutely the last thing we need is more infrastructure. We need less infrastructure. We need less delivering of the damage. Anyways, they're just telling you about all weather. 26 million. The weather is getting money. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, duly noted. The weather is getting money. Cool. Got to spend about $25 billion on the weather. What? What does that mean? Okay. Salt Lakers, that sounds good. Sounds like fun. You're getting a grant to research cloud animals. Good. Good job. I like it. I want to see that one. Yes, Rich Diana, stop forcing the American dream on other countries. It's kind of too late. Right? We've already exported our way of life, our standard of living, our expectations about everybody living like they do in the United States of America. You know, we've already exported not just the actual lifestyle, but the idea of the lifestyle, right? It's the idea of it that's so dang sticky. Everybody wants to do the things we do and have the things we have, and that is absolutely unfortunate. It's one of the most unfortunate things ever, because we should be importing the lifestyles of those who live very simple lives in other countries, i.e., indigenous peoples, i.e., just people that live in poor, what we call poor, but they live much simpler lifestyles. We should be importing that lifestyle, not exporting our lifestyle. Again, I'm saying things that are probably make people super cringe. Juliet agrees on Rockfin. Exactly. Infrastructure equals ultimate destruction. Yep. This is hard for people to think in those ways, though. The programming is deep. The brainwashing is deep. And it's very difficult to get out of it. Very difficult to see it in that way. Let's look at this from another one from Steve Austin. Well, hold on before we get there. Mass extinction event. It looks like the entirety of the southern hemisphere is probably going to bleach this year. Yikes. Crikey. That is going to be not lovely. We're literally sitting on the cusp of the worst bleaching event in the history of the planet. Record ocean temperatures push coral reefs to the brink of fourth mass bleaching event. Do we have a link? Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Love it when people put the links in the dang post. The imminent mass coral reef bleaching event could be the world in history. Could be the. Oh, that was a typo. Could be the worst in history, is what they meant. Experts warn. As the global sea surface temperature set a new record high on Monday at 21.17 C. Following months of above average temperature, scientists are raising the alarm about a potential fourth mass coral bleaching event. Speaking with Reuters, the coordinator of the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Coral Reef Watch, Derek Manzeo, said it was likely that the entire southern hemisphere would experience bleaching this year. Golly. We are literally sitting on the cusp of the worst bleaching event in the history of the planet, the ecologist said. The risk of a mass bleaching event was recently raised by U.S. and Australian researchers in a paper published in the journal Science, which suggested that last year's extreme marine heat waves may be a precursor to a mass bleaching and coral mortality event. Well, I mean, that would make sense because what bleaches the corals? Hot water. And they put a dollar value on the ecosystem services that they provide, which is always great. These coral reefs provide us with $9 trillion in services. Well, thank you so much, coral reefs. Didn't know there was a monetary value to a stable climate. How about priceless? Because if you don't have it, then nobody really cares about the trillions or the billions or the millions or the whatever they are dollars. Nobody cares. Yeah. Well, that is truly infuriating. Truly infuriating. All right. Beauty. Got lots of viewers on. They're showing all my viewers on X. That's great. Thanks, Twitter X. They weren't a doing that before. But no, all of a sudden. That's cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we know why this is happening. We know and would not be surprised by it happening. I would be like, well, the water's really warm again. So there's that. All right, guys, last post, and then I'm going to wrap this show up. Steve Austin. The climate crisis is ultimately a food crisis. This retweeting Bloomberg, Europe is wargaming a food crisis. And you know what happens when they wargame things. When they wargame things, that's when the actual thing starts happening. They're like, "Whoa, we were just wargaming. We were just talking about this, and here it is." Anyways, but there could be all kinds of reasons why this. They're not going to let me read this, are they? Bloomberg is not going to let me read this. Nah. No? Yeah? Oh, I guess they will. Wow. How very nice of you. How very, very nice of you, Bloomberg. All right, we'll look at this for a second. Europe is wargaming a food crisis. A group of people came together last month to tackle the worst case scenario. From one of the best fed regions in the world, the combined forces of El Nino and La Nina have crippled Latin American soy output. Ukrainian and Russian grain farmers have gone to war. Indonesia has banned shipments of palm oil to Europe. while China is hungry for crops. The Mediterranean region is getting more like a desert. The year is 2024. Food shortage in Europe. The only question is when, but they don't listen, says an unidentified voice in a video broadcast. Dramatic collision of events, of course, hasn't yet come to pass, but over 2 days in central Brussels last month, some 60 European Union and government officials, food security experts, industry representatives, and a few journalists gathered to confront the possibility of something barely on the radar a few years ago, a full-blown food crisis. Yeah, the group sat down in a refurbished Art Deco shell building to simulate what might happen. Expect a level of chaos, warned Peter Magnazuski, a systems modeler and game designer who has worked with the United Nations. You may be confused at times and not have enough information. There will be time travel. Hold on. The coronavirus pandemic, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and disruptions on key shipping routes have disturbed supply chains and sent prices soaring. Erratic and extreme weather now regularly disturbs farming. Against that backdrop, officials are no longer asking when a food crisis may arrive, but rather how many crises they can deal with at once. And so it's 2025 and there are more harvest failures. They impact animal feed prices, which curbs livestock and fish production. Some ships carrying crops turn away from Europe to cater to high bidders elsewhere. Asia's palm oil exports. Export limits are now reducing supplies of daily staples from margarine to bread. Allegations of corporate greed, disinformation, and conspiracy theories are spreading. The timeliness in terms of the topic was incredibly on point, said Katja Svensson, senior food systems advisor to the Nordic Council of Ministers who participated in the simulation. Anyways. Is this coming to a neighborhood near you? Food shortage. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, Tim Bob. Just don't be poor. That's what I'm working with. This is like a mindset, you know what I'm saying? Just don't be poor. All right. Anyways, weather and climate events are hitting farmers regularly. We know this. Cost of fertilizers and energy needed to grow crops is soaring. Things unravel, this is according to the War Game, unravel further later in 2025. Thieves are looting supermarkets. Police struggle to contain riots spreading in cities. People in Germany can't find fish and meat at grocery stores. Livestock farmers are going bankrupt. Meanwhile, the public's focus shifts to profiteering by commodity traders. Small farms fall like dominoes, while attacks on immigrants begin to become more widespread. Is the EU a sinking ship? Someone asked in the video. It's all the fault of liberal elites, someone else says. Anyways. All right, guys. Thanks so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. I'm going to leave you all now. Appreciate y'all tuning in every day. And I'll check out the other channel, the Octopus Files. The link is everywhere. I think you can find it. You can find it on my Twitter. And I'll be there later, about noon. Do another show. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Peace out.